Well, staying with the hot topic of vaccines, joining us right now is Professor Richard Agbola. He's a consultant, immunization and global health with Rambicon and research professor at the Nigeria Institute of Medical Research. He joins us from Baltimore in the US. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your program.
First, give us an idea of the progress of vaccinations in the United States where you are.
Well, the vaccination program here is actually moving on very rapidly. Say about 2 days ago, with the latest report that I have, they have by now in the US vaccinated over 113 million people. And about 40 million really are fully vaccinated. In other words, they've actually received the 2 doses for those vaccines requiring 2 doses. And that means actually that in the US, that about 12.2% of the population have been fully vaccinated. And the US, as a matter of fact, for now, in terms of the number of people vaccinated, are clearly ahead of the global, all the countries in the world. Of course, Israel is by far ahead, and they've vaccinated almost 50% of their population. But of course, the population in Israel is smaller.
Well, reports still show that, while around the world people are letting down their guard. For example, the US is reporting about 50,000 new cases a day. And this is around the annual pilgrimage for spring break, despite being in the middle of this pandemic. Do you see more waves of the virus, or is vaccinations going to catch up fast enough?
Well, I'm afraid there is every expert in the US now is appealing to the population not to let down their guards, as it were. The vaccination is going on all right, but we are still in the woods here, or they are still in the woods here, as it were. So they have to keep on the measures in addition to the vaccination that is going on. The non-pharmaceutical measures of washing your hands, using the mask, avoiding the crowd and what have you, until you reach a certain percentage of the population that are fully vaccinated. You're talking about 70 to 80% of the population, and they are not there yet. So the caution is that the vaccination is going on well, but maintain the non-pharmaceutical measures and avoid crowd and avoid exposing yourself to the infection. The issue is actually not the people vaccinated, but the fact that you want to protect yourself, but also think about those in the communities that are not vaccinated yet, so that you protect yourself more or less, but also do something to protect those in the community as well.
All right, let's come to Africa, and the perception here on vaccines. The Africa CDC did a study, 15-country study on the vaccine, and found that respondents who do not know anyone who has tested positive for COVID-19, those who think the threat of the virus is exaggerated, and those who believe in conspiracy theories are more skeptical of receiving the vaccine. And we know that this was a problem at the beginning of the pandemic. What's your take on how Africa is looking at vaccinations?
Well, that's a good question, and we have to be careful. That we have to recognize that in Africa, not due to our fault, but because of shortage of testing materials and what have you and expertise, that we are probably under testing. So we're actually, and because of that, also under reporting. So we don't actually know the actual numbers of people that are infected and people that are dead. So we have to be careful that the numbers may not be true reflection of what's happening. Having said that, I think it's the duty of everyone, and I think the government and the appropriate organizations in Nigeria and elsewhere are trying to make people aware of the importance of getting vaccinated and protecting yourself and the community from getting exposed to further infection. I think all of us, including myself, and I can assure you that I've been vaccinated, but I'm still carrying my mask. And I think all of us should be champions, actually. we shouldn't leave this to government alone. All of us should make people aware of the importance of vaccination. That's important for everyone to be vaccinated when it is available to you, because you're not only just protecting yourself, but also trying to protect the community at large. And that we need to get vaccination to a reasonable proportion of the community, where you can begin to have population-wide broad protection or immunity in the community to keep the disease at bay.
We appreciate your time on the program, Professor Richard Agbola. Thank you so much, research professor at Nigeria Institute of Medical Research. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.